So thank you very much for the invitation. Like they told you, my name is Oussama Ammar. I have been an entrepreneur for 10 years, and I just want to tell you something in my story that will give you a little perspective about what I will tell you, is that I created my first company when I was 13 years old. I sold my first company when I was 15 years old. And why that is possible, why in this generation people like me can build things that scale around the world, and we can build platform. I built a platform called IPOS with 900,000 researchers solving R&D problem. Company most of people never heard about, but solved a lot of very highly technical scientific problem. For a very simple reason, is that the cost of entrepreneurship is decreasing at a rate that you never imagined. Like 10 years ago, launching a company was about going outside and convincing investors. Now, launching a company is about building something, using your knowledge, and having as many users and selling as much as possible so the investment become a commodity. Like what I was trying to say before about the bootstrap thing is that whatever this amount of capital seem impressive with the kind of company fundraising them, and especially in the marketplace field, because building a startup is a lot of work, it's a lot of talent, it's bringing a lot of people that should not be together in sense of achieving something. But when you compare the amount of capital that is invested now in the internet industry with the potential of the internet industry, we are at a very, very small amount. I know it can seem surprising because you are reading in the press that we are in a bubble, blah, 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 all of that. But let me give you a number. In 2000, with the first economic boom with internet, we invested more than $7 million a year by internet user around the world. Last year, we invested $700 a year with every internet user. We went from 7 million a year to 700 a year. Why? Because even if last year we get back to the level of 2000, in the same time the number of users around the world using internet totally increased. And that revolution that we can see in the sharing economy, that we see in marketplace, is about what we call at TheFamily the entrepreneurial age. The entrepreneurial age is based on a few things. The first thing is that a theory that I'm sure you all learned in school about comparative advantage disappeared. So what was in traditional economy competitive advantage? It was the idea that you will own something internally inside your company, a better supply chain, a better accounting, a better talent, blah, 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 whatever, that will be better than your competition. Now, every competitive advantage is available as an API, as a service, and is becoming a commodity. If you want to understand the world where we are getting in, it's a commoditization world. Like everything that was with a lot of value, that was really unique, is getting decentralized, is getting available, is getting in excess of supply for a very simple reason. It's the only thing that stays really valuable is the creativity of individuals. And if I can share something and a lesson with you, is that most of the people look at all this industry thinking that it's a question of technological progress and technological advancement, but it's not. Most of the technology we use to build this kind of startups are not so impressive. They are just very solid technology. They are a lot of hard work, but they are not cutting edge in the sense that a lot of people around that room already have the means to build that kind of business. But the problem is a problem of a generation gap and vision of the world. And that vision of the world is about getting in a world where nothing is linear and nothing will be certain. I don't think any entrepreneurs building a platform like that will have any clue about what platform can become. And what happened with all these platforms is that they grow very exponentially. They become much bigger than anyone can have imagined for a very simple reason. They solve a very important problem. Behind every entrepreneurial adventure, you always have a very fundamental problem that is solved. And we can disagree about which kind of problem people solve on this kind of platform, but I have the feeling that we are entering in the world where we will need a multiple revenue stream because no one in this room will have a guaranteed revenue in the next years. And I think that I live in that future without guaranteed revenue because, I always have been an entrepreneur. I never subscribed to any social security. I don't think I paid the salary in my life once to myself. And now I'm 29 years old and I live well. So how that is possible? It's possible because I have multiple assets that I build around my life. And my knowledge is my first asset that now I can streamline and I can make it profitable. And going from a world where people sell their workforce to a world where people sell their asset, whatever asset it is, their brain, their apartment, their car, their time, but all of that is oriented about the fact that not a single asset can be sufficient to ensure a sustainable life in the coming years. Because, again, we will be facing a world where the job will be more and more uncommon. So I know we are late on the panel. I will try to make that quick. And I will just tell you things we are working on at TheFamily. For example, we build an artificial intelligence practice. What's happening in this artificial intelligence practice is that we finance people that are building artificial intelligence algorithms that replace people. And if you look at in our own company, TheFamily is 2 years old. We hired 55 people in Paris. We are doing 10 million revenue a year after 2 years. That kind of service growth was not possible before because you need a level of distribution that before was really hard to access. Now you can access that kind of distribution through Facebook, through Google Ads, through very cheap distribution matters. But what is interesting is that from the day we created TheFamily until today, we already replaced 15 people by software. I will give you an example. Meeting management. Meeting management is a really hard question inside TheFamily. We replace it with an artificial intelligence secretary. And all our meetings now are managed at TheFamily by an artificial intelligence. Apply, when people send, we are managing more than 60,000 apply a year in Europe. That is impossible with human. So we use two things. We crowdsource the apply. We have a trusted network of people that can look through our apply, but we also use pattern recognition and artificial intelligence. That shows that a group of 50 people can do the job that before was a job of maybe 200 or 300 people organization. And why I'm talking about that in that panel is because it's directly linked to the future of marketplace. Right now, the marketplace are not using a lot of artificial intelligence, but be assured that Bitcoin, blockchain, all of this technology that maybe you heard about, and I hope we will have 5 minutes to talk about, are totally shifting the paradigm of trust. We are going from a world where the trust was centralized in one organization to a world where the trust is peered. And Rashid's presentation was amazing about that because it really shows a shift of paradigm around trust. But that shift will not end on people. And that's our bet. I think that in few years, we will trust the machine much more than each other. And that time, we will think about marketplace in a much different way because most of the work that is done right now by the platform will be reduced to ultimate optimization to just let the people that are inside that platform acting together. Thank you very much.